Hi, I'm Chris from Rose City Originals, and I'm here with AccuQuilt in the Dream Studio to help you make your first quilt. In this series, I'll walk you through step by step making your first quilt with your AccuQuilt cutter. Now, if this is your first time joining us, go ahead and watch the previous 4 episodes and then come back here. Today, we're actually going to quilt our quilt sandwich. As always, be sure to like and bookmark this video so you can refer back to it later. As a reminder, the pattern we've been using is called Go Fundamentals and is available for download for free from the AccuQuilt website. There'll be a link in the description box so you can get your copy. Now, this is an in-depth pattern and includes step-by-step instructions and diagrams for making the quilt from start to finish. Now, before we begin today, let's gather up the tools and supplies we'll be using. Today, we are going to need our sewing machine, complete with a needle and thread, and we're also going to want a walking foot, which is also known as an even feed foot. Now, this foot may look a little different depending on your machine, but generally there are 2 sets of toes. One set is stationary and the other is spring-loaded. Then there's a bar or a fork that goes over your needle set screw. This foot allows all of the layers of your fabric to feed through the machine evenly so you don't get puckers in your fabric. Today we will be using a FAF machine which has our even feed foot built into it. Then of course we will need our fully basted quilt top. And for today, I'll be showing you how to use regular painter's tape to help you make some straight lines. Now, there are many methods for marking your lines, including using something like a blue water-soluble pen, a Hera marker that makes a crease in your fabric, or a seam guide on your walking foot. Let's start by laying out our quilt and marking the center line. I personally like to follow the edge of the tape with the edge of my walking foot, so I'll need to compensate for that. I have seen others use the painter's tape method and just stitch right along the edge of the tape. My issue with that is sometimes I accidentally end up stitching through the tape, and then I have to pick out all the little bits when I'm done. So we'll press our tape down about 1/4 of an inch from where I want my stitch line to be. With this quilt, there are points all the way across the quilt, so you can use those as reference points while you mark. And now we'll go stitch this line. Now, as you approach one of the pins, you will definitely want to take that out before you hit it with your needle. Now, the key to successful quilting is this: take your time. Let the machine do the work, don't pull or push on the quilt. And you can increase your stitch length to maybe like a 3 or a 3.5 and let the machine feed it through. And you don't want to go too fast as you can break your walking foot. After all, it is a walking foot, not a running foot. And if you pin basted like me, you will want to remove those pins as you go. And now that the first line is quilted, we'll flip it over and check the back just to make sure it looks good. All right, that looks great. And you can usually reuse the same tape for multiple lines. So we'll just peel this back and move it to our next line. You can make these lines closer together if you like. I'm going to use the corners of these blocks as my spacers. So the lines will be about 3 to 4 inches apart. Okay, that line is all stitched, so we'll check the back before we move on. That looks great. So we'll just keep moving out from the center until we have all the lines in this direction sewn. And now that we have all of our stitches going in this direction, let's stitch lines in this direction. So I'll start with a fresh piece of tape and just lay down my line and follow just like before. And now our quilt is quilted. So the last thing we're going to do today is trim the quilt to get it ready for binding. Now, when I trim a quilt, I'm not too concerned about it being perfectly square. We just want to use our rotary cutter and ruler. So I'm going to trim just along the raw edge of the quilt top. And at the corners, you can use the other end of your ruler to get a nice 90-degree angle. And there we go, all trimmed. So until then, work on quilting your quilt. You can do straight line quilting like I did here, or if you're feeling adventurous, you can do some free motion quilting. Just take your time and you'll make it through. Be sure to hit that follow button for more videos, including tips and tricks for getting the most out of your AccuQuilt cutter. Thanks for watching. See you next time.